Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Alien Addict on a very fine and very breezy evening, because I bought a new fan, but actually it's not switched on. Never mind. Without further ado, we have a show. Mythology versus Ufology. I literally have no idea where I'm going with this one, but I've got some guys to help me out with this, because a lot has happened over the last couple of days. Rich Giordano,
Hey,
welcome to
how
the
you
show,
doing?
my friend. How you doing? He'll call you tomorrow?
What's that? Oh, wait, there's a phone call here that just came in. How'd that happen? Hold on a second. Jason?
How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm on a live show right now. I don't know why my phone picked up, but
Hey, what's up?
I'll call you tomorrow. No, I'll call you right when I'm done. Are you going to be around?
Yeah, I'm just chilling. I was busting your chops.
I know. I deserve it.
Fair enough. All right, we'll talk in a few. Bro.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Jason.
Jason Summerly, the guy who I'm going to the NASA Artemis launch with. We're still
Oh.
on.
You still on with that, are you?
They just delayed it, and we're still going to have access, like VIP access into the control room. You know, like you see on TV, everybody standing around. We're going to go in that room.
Beautiful.
All over NASA. I can't wait.
Sometimes I just wish I lived in the States. I
Yeah.
really do.
I tell you, we got it all over here. We got more UFO sightings and crazy people than everybody else on the planet.
Crazy food as well, you know.
Great crazy food.
Great. Speaking of great crazy food, you must be eating some very healthy food because you're looking damn fine. Have you been working out?
Nope.
No.
Of course. I've rejuvenated. I told you guys that I went to a rejuvenation clinic. They promised 10 years off in 3 months, and it seems to be working.
Was it run by David Wilcock?
Yeah. You what? No. Corey Good. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
You're very
Name
kind,
rings a
sir.
bell. Rings a bell. Something to do with Mars.
But this is what happens in the States. We have sunshine, and it's recreational. So we go out and we get the vitamin D and enrich our blood and just one with the earth. I tell you, I feel great. I can't believe I'm 44 again.
He's back, and we have Stephen
there.
Cambion
Hey.
in the house.
Oh man, I'm on a show with Richie from GUFON again. This is like the ghetto of the internet, man. If Richie is here,
That's right, baby.
Get a
This
better.
is the gutter
Get
of
some better
ufology.
Stephen,
sorry,
we have
who is
a
this?
little bit of,
Who's that guy?
I don't
Got
know.
a little bit of echo because I broke
Amateur.
headphones right before this, and I can't find another pair. So maybe I'll bounce out if it's a problem.
Oh, we know we've just got a bit of echo. It's fine. Don't you worry. I'll take a little bit of echo to have Stephen Cambion in the house.
It's very annoying.
Yeah, I literally just broke a pair of headphones right before this. Like,
Oh, dear.
I do that all the time. I put them on the floor and then I roll over them, and you know.
Speaking of things that got broken, so right before this, I sent you a very pissed off message because I was about halfway through your show trying to finish watching your interview with Ryan and the Scott, and I can't remember what the young lady's name is, but she seemed very nice.
Yeah.
And it's gone. It's left the
Well,
The video's gone?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that, and I probably, someday, hopefully I'll explain it all, but for right now, I could say this, that turned into a legal nightmare, and some allegations were made on my show, maybe without evidence or proof, and the people that the allegations were made about are now, getting lawyers involved, apparently, or something, and out of an overabundance of caution, I've agreed to take that down. Some parties contacted me requesting that I do that because of those allegations, and I just have to let it alone for now.
This is the new thing that we podcasters now have to worry about, and that's now being sued wrongfully or just for the hell of it. It's getting ridiculous.
It's terrible, yeah. Oh,
might
and
have been a
I
little.
have to put Rich, you got to put a disclaimer in your show now that the views expressed by the live chat participants or the guests or the live callers do not necessarily reflect those of the host, the show producer, whatever, because somebody could say something in your live chat and somebody could sue you for it because you didn't moderate that or delete the comment or what, I don't know. I'm a one-man
Duly
army. I
noted.
have chat room moderators, but they miss things, or a caller could call in and say something about somebody, and a guest could say something about somebody, as in the case of this video I just had to take down. And there's a lot of other reasons that I just decided to take that down. It's a circus, that whole story, and it's like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! There's so many strange characters involved in that story, and it got real ugly, and I don't want to. I don't want to be involved in it. It's not fun.
Sean Drew in the chat room saying there's consequences for telling lies. No, for telling the truth. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what he. We can't get into it, but it's not for the lies. It's for telling the truth about the liars.
Yeah, and I see Dorothy says, how many of these lawsuits actually go anywhere? But I'm aware of at least one live streamer, CW Channer. He got sued by Corey Good, and so far he's up to $15,000 to $20,000 that he's paid lawyers to make, because he said that Corey Good's Buck Rogers science fiction fantasy stories were fake. That's all he did. He would go on and Corey Good would make a video, and then he would make a video saying, this is ridiculous, this is so stupid, this makes no sense, and point out all the inaccuracies or whatever. He got sued, and he's up to 20 grand worth of paying a lawyer because he got sued for saying Corey Good didn't time travel or wasn't Buck Rogers in space saving Earth.
It's free speech,
So people
though.
can sue you for anything.
I don't understand it. It's free speech. You can say what you want, but I guess you have to say allegedly or supposedly or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't understand how a man that claims to have gone, what does he claim to have gone back in time? Mars?
20 and back. Yeah, 20 and back while smoking crack.
How can that guy sue somebody for saying he's full of shit?
Right.
Well, first of all, it's important to remember that guy has made, by some accounts, maybe millions of dollars. Maybe he's made millions of dollars in the past 5 years selling his stories. He's got some money. So if somebody's really hurting his income, it would kind of make sense for him to drop some money on a lawyer to shut that asshole up. Pardon my French.
Well, you know what? This goes really well with the content of Mythology versus Ufology, because it's just, Ufology is just full of myths.
Mm-hmm.
Myths and legends and bullshit.
About 95% of it, right?
But people get so what is it you guys say, butthurt?
Yeah.
Over somebody calling out bullshit.
Yeah. And we have Sarah R. Adams too. I said that her superpowers weren't real. She threatened to sue me. She sent me an angry lawyer letter to my house. Claiming that I was slandering her because I said that her fake medbed sessions weren't, a real service, and that gluing magnets into a tanning bed doesn't make it a med bed that you could charge people money to lay in and heal things. I said her superpowers weren't real. I said she could not open stargates, and she's teaching people a very expensive course. I think it's $1,500, where she'll teach you to open stargates. And I did a show saying, show me the stargates, Sarah. If you're taking money from people claiming you can teach them to open stargates, then get on your phone, live stream it, open one stargate so we could see that this is not, some kind of new age money-making thing. Let's see a stargate. She threatened to sue me for slander.
Well, without going too far into it, but it's very relevant right now, and things that are relevant just I get the nipples perk up. This whole Angeli thing with the cave, these people that are disputing her claims of going into a cave are also being accused of lies and deceit. I'm allowed to say that is what they are being accused of. Angela accused these people of that. I think we're not. I think this case could go on for another 3 years, maybe even more. You know,
Yeah, she seems determined to stick around and continue with her so-called mission. But I will say, to her credit, she was very, I want to say, diplomatic with me and didn't threaten to sue me or anything. And some allegations were made about her where she could have. She just, you know, wanted. She doesn't want people saying things happen to her when she disputes that, which is fair. So, but I think, yeah, I think she's going to stick around for a while, and we'll see what happens with it. But I would predict that no matter how long she sticks around, she will never have any solid evidence or proof of her fantastical claims. And that's the point where I check out. After a while, it's just somebody telling stories. It has no value to me.
But your advice to me, and I think that goes for anybody that's in this field, is stay away from this story. Is that what you're saying, Stephen?
Well, it got real ugly real fast, and I don't know how anybody could continue with that story, given the there's all kinds of it gets into weird sex stuff and all kinds of craziness, and the fact that a bunch of the people involved in this story are now at least claiming to me that they're all suing each other or going to sue each other. So, if my thing is, do I want to keep writing this story where all the major players involved are saying they're suing each other or may sue each other or threatening to sue each other? At some point you go, I don't want to get dragged into court over whether Anjali saw aliens in some tunnel that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough one because when you're in the field and one of these people reach out for an interview or they want to come on your show uh, as a host, I mean we've seen Lou go on pretty much every show, barring ours. I don't think he's been. I think this is the 3 channels he's not been on. I think he's been on all the others. I could be wrong
Yep.
there.
Yeah, we're the bad guys. Yeah.
I think we're the cool guys. You know, personally, we don't judge. People think we judge, but we just have an opinion. And people like Lou, Angeli, I have to say, I have to give Angeli credit where credit's due. Though she does battle her case.
It was a miracle that she came on my show because I found out later that she knew exactly how skeptical I was, and she still agreed to do it. So I do give her more credit than Lou or some of these other people. And it also should be said that if you're going to make yourself a public figure going on the internet, making really fantastical claims, then you should you should expect some scrutiny. You should expect people to say you're full of shit. You should expect people to doubt your story or have questions. Doesn't mean that and I heard somebody else say, well, Lou doesn't have to answer to you. Okay, but I'm allowed to ask questions and he can refuse to answer the questions then. He doesn't have to answer them, but I'm still allowed to ask those questions.
At least see his
Sure.
reaction. Yeah, that's what he's
Rich,
afraid of.
do you see yourself dropping this Angelique case now? Do you think this is what everybody should do?
Well, here's
Take
what I'll say.
Stephen's advice.
There's two things. I was talking to a friend who is a total business person when it comes to YouTube, and I'm not that good at business. But what he said is there's still an incredible amount of interest in the story to make the time invested worth, doing it. And I said, no, this last story was terrible views compared to previous ones. I think after the real Wayne came out and said none of this happened, then interest in her story went in the shitter. And people are like, even that show I just did, people are in the live chat going, why are we still talking about this? She lied about the tunnel. None of this happened. So I think that, first of all, it's a legal quagmire. Everybody's threatening to sue everybody, the major, characters involved in the story. are either suing each other or planning to sue each other, threatening to sue each other, may sue each other. I don't know. And then we have the fact that the interest in the story just went to the shitter. So for me, it's like maybe the universe is trying to tell me now's a good time to jump off this crazy train and do a different story, you know?
Unless something big happens.
Yeah, I mean, if there's some major evidence, or I can't lie, if Anjali, if I apologized for raising my voice to her. She said she forgave me. If some major thing happens and she's willing to do an interview about it, but her, not any of these other characters,
Yeah.
her, or maybe this Brian, I don't know. I might jump back in, but there's got to be some meat on the bones. There's got to be a reason for me to put more time into what is essentially a story about somebody who told fantastical stories about aliens that not only has no proof, we've kind of proven that she was not being entirely accurate in her depiction of those events. And again, that's my opinion,
Are there any other podcasters doing what you do when you speak about her? Like, I know I have a little bit in it, but
No, I think Ollie here covered the story a little bit, and you, Rich, covered the story a little bit, but I think I was a little deeper because for whatever reason I got to the people, the major characters of the story, and the people that were deeply engrossed in it, like Charlie Weiser and this Ryan Gordon, and the people that were investigating it. Plus I got to Anjali for an on-camera interview early on, and then I got to the so-called Wayne, who was supposed to be a witness to her story. So I got a little too deep, I think, into this one. If I had to do it over again, I would let somebody else take that role, and I would sit back like Rich and just do the commentary. Like, this is what's happening. A little less direct involvement maybe sometimes is better.
Stephen, you don't have to answer this, but I don't know if this is kind of off the table, which it's fine if it is, but the first Wayne that was contacted, so from what I watched, from what people have seen, I watched half of your interview last night. The first Wayne was mentioned, and it does seem to me like Anjali does know who this Wayne is as well.
She does, yeah, and claims that she's spoken to him or will speak to him more in the future. And there's, one of the people involved in this story claimed that they paid that guy $1,000 and got an interview with him, and they were threatening to release it, and then they never did release it. And some people are claiming that that was manufactured and that he never indeed ever did an interview with him or really spoke to him. But I'm just repeating what people are telling me. I don't know if that interview actually took place. It's never been released. I released my interview with the second Wayne, which turns out to be the real one, according to most people involved, including Anjali. That was where it happened. I've seen his house. I've seen the lack of a tunnel in the hill behind his house, which I wouldn't even call a mountain. Yeah, so, even people that are claiming that they have evidence, they don't drop the evidence. They just make claims. It's research by proclamation or bluff. If you have the evidence, I say drop it. Let's hear what that guy has to say.
I mean, here's the thing. Especially, I'm not going to speak for myself because I just have people on the show speaking. But with you and Rich, I do see that before you like to jump the gun, you like to have a bit of evidence to back anything up. And I completely respect why you've dropped that show. That's doing you more damage dropping that show than it. I mean,
well, it could land in the middle of multiple lawsuits, apparently, because if I say anything about the people who made allegations, they could sue me for saying that their allegations weren't true or whatever. If I say anything about the people that the allegations were made against, they could sue me for allowing people to make allegations. It turns into this whole big quagmire. Like, do I really want to be involved in this? And also, do I want to contribute to somebody making very serious accusations against somebody and their reputation when that may not be true because there's no real evidence? It's somebody's opinion, Like, Ali, I could say, you banged my dog, right? It's my opinion. I'm pretty sure you came over to my house. You tried to bang my dog, right?
I have been accused of that before. It won't be the first time.
Or I should have said like stole from my house. Man, oh, that's a better one. You came
No,
over my house and
I prefer sleeping with your dog.
okay, all right. Well, we'll go back to sleep with a dog. So I could say that, right? But like, if I don't have evidence to support and back up that claim, that's a problem. And then what if you say I never banged Steve's dog? Am I supposed to leave a video of somebody saying you banged my dog on my channel when you said I didn't bang the dog, and the person claiming you banged my dog has no evidence to support you banged my dog?
Well, you'd probably find ginger pubic hair around the dog, so
Yeah,
you know.
I'll get my dog a rape kit. By the way, my dog's male, so that would make Ollie not only a bestialist, but a homosexual bestialist.
There it is.
They all look the same.
Bestiality, yeah.
The dogs all look the
Ollie
same.
is in a homosexual bestiality.
And thank
Not
you,
that there's
Lee.
anything wrong with
Welcome.
that.
No. Or sleeping with dogs. I've slept with a few in my time. Apart not the wife.
Well, not real dogs, but yeah, me too.
And Lee, thank you for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate it. Lee, welcome to the show. And I'll have you a game of snooker one day. I don't know what country you're from, but
Lee's awesome. He's like single-handedly supporting every UFO channel on YouTube, throwing
Beautiful
super
guy.
chats at everybody. Good guy.
good guy. The problem with this field that I'm finding now is there's I've never heard the word sue in this field before when it comes to show hosts, and I'm hearing it more and more and more. That I would say it scares me, but I haven't got a penny to scratch my ass with. So,
Well, Ollie, you're also somewhat protected because it's a lot more difficult for most of these UFO characters are American, most of them, and it's a lot more difficult for an American to get to you over in England and sue you than it is for them to get to us. But you know, and a lot of it is just threats and posturing. You know, like they think if I threaten him with a lawyer, then he'll back down and he'll stop talking shit on me, even if I am a total scammer. And sometimes that works, right? And then, but the odds of these people actually following through with their threats are small. But in my situation, you know, I've got somebody that one person that claims they make $300,000 a year selling their psychic services, claiming that they're going to sue me for slander. And for all I know, she's willing to drop a bunch of money on a lawyer local to me just to harass me into shutting up. And do I really want to deal with that? You know, it's taxing. Even if you're in the right, even if you told the truth, even if you know you have evidence, you still gotta, you know, it could be 3 years of bullshit court nonsense to get rid of that person.
There's case law on this, though. It goes back a couple of decades. Psychics that wanted to sue people, and it just got thrown out.
Uri Geller famously tried to sue the Amazing Randy into shutting up, and they battled for a decade in courts, in multiple court cases. You know, Amazing Randy would say something about him. He would file a new lawsuit.
Yeah.
He had, I think Amazing Randy had 3 different lawsuits going at one time or something like crazy like that against him from one fake psychic, Uri Geller, who later admitted he was a fake psychic, by the way, and used magic tricks, just as Amazing Randy had said decades prior.
But I thought he was still now uploaded his career again as the Spoonbender.
Yeah, he goes back and forth. I'm a psychic. I'm not a psychic. But being involved in magic, I know for a fact that he was at a International Brotherhood of Magicians international convention selling a $500 DVD set where he would show you how he did all of his tricks throughout his career. And admitted, you know, yeah, I'm just one of you guys, but I packaged it differently. That's basically what he said. So he essentially admitted that he was a magician. He, by the way, was a stage magician before becoming a psychic. That's on record. You can see there's evidence that he did magic shows in Israel before he changed his story and decided that, you know, whatever, he got hit by lightning and whatever his superhero origin for his psychic powers was. But anybody could sue you for anything, you know?
Yeah.
And what I would tell you, Rich, is like, it's easy to dismiss this, but until you've been through a really stupid, frivolous lawsuit, you don't understand. Like, I once got sued because a tow truck driver, the master cylinder in my van went out and it had no brakes. And so I got it to the back of my house and I called the tow truck driver to take it to the mechanic to get it fixed. And the tow truck driver's like, just help me, give it a push to get it into the street. And it was on the sidewalk behind my house. Anyway, long story short, I pushed the van. The van, he was at the back of his tow truck. He claimed that when I pushed the van, my van smacked into him. I got sued. It took 3 years to wind through the court system. The tow truck driver sued me for negligence. And then eventually the insurance company got so tired of fighting it in court, my insurance company just paid him. They just paid him a bunch of money to shut up and go away.
Wow.
So anybody can sue you for something stupid. Another time, I literally watched somebody lay down on my sidewalk and their son took pictures of them. This old lady laying down on my sidewalk. She sued me because she claimed that the rocks from my driveway came out into the sidewalk and caused her to slip. And that took, that one got settled pretty quick. But, I'm telling the insurance company lawyer for my homeowners, I watched her lay down and her son take a picture of her laying down. And by the way, who falls on a sidewalk and has some friend with her to take a picture of them laying on a sidewalk? But that's what this woman did. She got 10 grand from the insurance company. So, it's easy to dismiss this legal nonsense as bullshit and you shouldn't worry about it. But it's a nightmare when you get pulled into something like that.
Rich, have your boys ever paid an interest in the Angeli case in talking about it? I've never seen Third Phase of the Moon once speak about this on.
They just don't care about her. They didn't even know about her until I brought it up to her. They didn't know about her. Like when she first came out, after a couple of weeks, I'm like, have you heard about this lady Angeli says she can da-da-da with the alien? They're like, no. I'm like, so I told them about her, and they can't stand her. They know it's bullshit. It's just some lady trying to, get her 15 minutes. That's it.
It's pretty bad when Third Phase of the Moon won't push a story about aliens because they know it's fake.
Stephen, you love them.
That's all. Here's what I'll say about them. Before I spoke to them in person and got to know them a little bit, I was very, very anti them. After I got to know them a little bit better, I decided that I like as people, I like them, but I don't like or respect their so-called work. And I think that's a fair way to,
What do you
I think
want
that's
them
fair.
to do?
Because I can like them as people, and I like some of my neighbors, but I don't like what jobs they do. I think that's fair.
What do you want them to do? Like when they put a video up, like the other night, what do you want them to do? Research it first?
Yeah.
Because
you can't waft it away.
My autistic son does. I got an on-air light on my door, and my younger son understands not to come in here, but my autistic son doesn't give a shit. He's just like, on air, I don't give a shit. So he came in. He's fine. No, I see. Here's the problem with Third Phase of the Moon. In a lot of cases, they put out some video, and in a few short days, people rip it apart and say, here's the original source. It's from CGI artists on TikTok. Why are they posting this? This is bullshit. And my thing is, why don't they do that work and not put out the shit fake videos? That's all. That's all I'm saying.
I'll tell you why.
And then with this new documentary with Stephen Greer literally said that he went on a secret mission with Billy Gibbons, I think it is, from ZZ Top, to a secret underground base where they both saw limbs being regrown and spinal injuries being repaired by this apparently alien-derived medical technology. And I go, come on, man. You couldn't call the ZZ Top guy and find out if he really went on a secret mission with Stephen Greer before you just stuck that in your documentary? And then the second thing is that they said an entire company got murdered because they were in possession of this free energy technology, an engineering firm in Michigan. So I called the state police and I'm like, was there a mass murder of an engineering firm in Michigan? And the lady, after she stopped laughing, they could search archives for multiple murders at one company. She said, no, we never had anything. I've never heard of that. We never had anything like that. I could check the records and get back to you. So, I have a problem with them just letting Stephen Greer say ridiculous things that can be easily disproven. Like an entire company of engineers got murdered, except for one guy who lived to tell the tale. It's just ridiculous. before putting that in a documentary, they really should go and fact check them, and or have somebody like me, and I'll put it out there to them. If they want me to be in the next documentary, here's what they could do. They can make most or 90% of it, all their claims, whatever people are going to say, and then let me come in at the end and do a fact check on all the things people said in their documentary, and that would be fair. Put somebody skeptical in there, or make somebody fact check the bullshit before you put it out, because shoveling bullshit into this community is not doing anybody any favors.
Well, I have to say that's why they wanted Rich as.
Why didn't they have Rich in the documentary, right? I could have got with Rich and said, here, let's call the state police. Let's find out if there was a mass murder in Michigan of an engineering company. Let's get to Billy Gibbons, publicist, and ask the ZZ Top guy if he went on a secret mission with Stephen Greer. But they didn't include Rich or me or anybody doing that. And I think that's a money grab then. Like, we couldn't be bothered to check the shit people are saying, but we're going to put it out there and charge. They owe me $13, by the way. I want my $13 back.
Stephen, just do me a favor. Do that again. Now, just put them slightly down, like on top of it. Yeah, that's a good thumbnail right there.
That's a really good one.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, you sent me a message right after the last show that we did when we were talking about the new tapes from Bob Lazar, and I did want to get you on the last show.
And I couldn't make it.
So now that
I wish that I could be there, because Amy, Alien Girl, said a lot of stuff, and I just cringed when I watched that, because Amy, Alien Girl, she people, it's very easy to disprove that all of Bob Lazar's educational claims are completely and totally horseshit. First of all, he was going to a community college hundreds of miles away, a local community college, when he claims that he was at Caltech or MIT. You can't, it doesn't make any sense. He couldn't be going to both. Number two, there's no evidence that he went to MIT. There's no evidence that he went to Caltech, as he claimed. And people pull up this Men in Black explanation, and they say, well, the government erased his credentials. First of all, Stan Friedman went to the legal counsels of both schools and proved that would be a legal nightmare if they agreed to do that or whatever. There's no evidence. There's no master's thesis. When you get a master's degree from a school, you have to write a master's thesis. Nobody can find either the one from Caltech or the one from MIT. And Stanton Friedman, myself, Michael Schratt, and others talked to the people who are the curators of those master's theses. They don't exist. Then people say, well, the Men in Black erased all that. But Michael Schratt brought up an excellent point. Michael Schratt went and got all the yearbooks for MIT and Caltech, and there's no mention of Bob Lazar in any of them. People say, oh, well, the government erased him from those. But in order for you to believe that, the Men in Black would have to go to everybody that went to that school that year with Bob Lazar, find them, crawl into their dusty attic or garage, get their college yearbook out, erase Bob Lazar out of it, put in a completely and totally believable fake that erases Bob Lazar. It's just garbage. And then we also have, not that I trust her, but Linda Moulton Hale on the record, I have a tape of her saying that Bob Lazar told her he never went to MIT. He just went there and hung out. Like, he would sneak into some of the lectures about science, but he never actually went there. And he claimed he never told anybody he went there, and that George Knapp maybe embellished that or something like that. So the education falls apart. Next we get Bob Lazar says that he flew into Area 51 and that then he took a bus to S4. But on my channel, we have an on-the-record interview with a real Area 51 security guard. And when the story broke on television, he went to the flight logs. Everybody flying in or out of Area 51 has to be logged in and logged out with their real identity, with their real name. No Bob Lazar in any of the flight logs, which means Bob Lazar never flew into Area 51. He never stepped foot into Area 51. And people like to argue with me. They say, well, he didn't say he worked at Area 51. He worked at S4. But he's on, a sub base on Area 51. But he's on the record saying that he flew in on the Janet Airlines to Area 51 and then went to S4. If he had flew on the Janet Airlines, there would be a log of him. This on the record, real verifiable source who really was an Area 51 security guard said he's never stepped foot on the base. Further, that same security guard had driven all over that area, including Papoose Lake. There's no road there, as Bob Lazar described. There's no guard shack, as Bob Lazar described. There's certainly no hangar doors, nothing. And he said that he went right up to those doors. They couldn't have been camouflaged that good. He was feet away from that mountainside. There's nothing there. There's no S4. And that is on my channel. There's also another interview with a researcher who got to Bob Lazar's superiors at Los Alamos. Bob Lazar claimed that he was a senior staff level physicist at Los Alamos. So did Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. Oh, he must have worked there. He did. But he worked there through Kirk Meyer as a subcontractor. Kirk Meyer did not employ physicists, only electronics technicians, low-level people who like fix computers, bring you a new mouse when your mouse breaks and things like that. But for the first time on my channel, we have a story from a researcher that got to Bob Lazar's actual original supervisors at Los Alamos, who confirmed, no way, Bob Lazar was not a physicist. He was an electronics technician. He worked on the health monitors. He brought you a mouse or a new keyboard if your shit broke. He was a step above a janitor at Los Alamos. He was not a scientist there. He was not a physicist or anything, nothing. And that's on my channel as well. So I just think there's a lot of...
like a tech support.
Yeah, he was a tech support guy. So people love to believe Bob Lazar, and they miss the evidence. And you know, I get it, but like when I hear people repeating this, Men in Black erased my stuff, you know, and then even for my evidence, the people start bringing in the Men in Black. Well, what if the Men in Black got to that security guard and told them to lie? What if the Men in Black got to Bob Lazar's former supervisors and told him to lie? I mean, I guess that's a possibility, but it's a stretch. When you got to bring in the Men in Black to continue believing and doing the mental gymnastics to believe Bob Lazar, it's terrible. And there's also a lot of other stuff I've caught him in. On the Larry King live show, he said that the crafts that he worked on were 52 feet in diameter. But in his original drawings of the S4 base, he said the hangar bay doors were 40 feet wide. So how in God's green earth how does a 52-foot diameter spacecraft get in and out of a 40-foot hangar bay door? You know, there's loads of inconsistencies. And Bob Lazar, Jeremy Corbell, and George Knapp, they don't want you to worry about what they call the minutia. That's not important. It is to me because it's catching him in lie after lie after lie. And I also heard mention on your show, did he just help that brothel he worked for or whatever? No, he was a 50-50 partner. I talked to the madam that he ran that brothel with. Him and his wife were 50-50 partners in that brothel. He owned, half the business. Him and his wife bought into it with this madam. They owned half of that illegal brothel. And then people are like, well, isn't prostitution legal in the state of Nevada? Not within the Las Vegas city limits, it's not. And there is a lot of illegal brothels. A lot of people just don't do all their paperwork because they don't want to pay all the fees and all the taxes. So Bob Lazar's brothel was illegal, which makes him a convicted pimp. And I'm sorry, I grew up on the mean streets of Philadelphia. I don't trust a pimp to tell me the truth. And by the way, I also spoke with several of the women that worked at that brothel who told me that Bob Lazar was a greedy bastard who took every penny he could from those girls. And that informed me about him. Like, you know, anybody that would be a pimp, I just don't think is a very good person because you're profiting from some woman selling her body. And whether it's consensual or not, I think it's a dirty, kind of gross business. You know, it is what it is, though. You know, but I support if women choose to do that. I support that, but I don't think that I should be forced to believe that some guy who is a convicted pimp is telling me the truth about aliens. That's where I'm at.
If prostitution was legal, would you be okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, do I
I
think that
think
the guy who owns the Bunny Ranch is a slime ball? Not as much, you
I
know.
guess if it was legal, we would have grown up thinking differently about it. So
Yeah,
society
I
would
mean,
have
there's different
treated it
attitudes in
differently. Yeah.
Amsterdam and other places where it's totally legit and legal. You know, in Amsterdam, women stand in storefronts, and you walk by. If you want to bang her, you go in, you pay her money. She comes out of the window and bangs you, and then she
See,
goes back standing in the window,
I
and it's
don't.
perfectly acceptable. And in those cultures, women, even married women, accept that their husbands may visit a prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well, thank you, Jennifer, for the kind super sticker avocado. I appreciate that. Uh, what about the flight plans? You mentioned the flight plans. So Dark Hours was asking about the flight plans. Do you have the Dark Sky
For
files?
the
Sorry.
Janet flights, do you have the
no, we
flight
have the
records?
testimony. We don't have the flight logs, and we don't have the check-in and check-out logs at Area 51. Apparently, according to the security guard, there are both flight logs and there are logs of people. Once you land at Area 51, you get checked in as a visitor, and then when you depart Area 51, you get checked out. So there's a check-in log and a check-out log. We don't have the actual flight logs; those couldn't be taken out of Area 51. We have the testimony of the security guard who claims that he checked both the logs and the check-in and check-out logs, and no Bob Lazar anywhere. But it is interesting that I once found another witness that claimed that his mother was on a Janet flight with Bob Lazar flying into Area 51. So who, you know, it's a hall of mirrors here. But I trust that security guard. I thought that his testimony was very just honest and reliable because I could check his background and see that he really worked there during the time that Bob claimed to have.
But would he have necessarily seen or heard of Bob?
No, he did. If you listen to the interview, he the first time that Bob was on television with George Knapp, him and his other security guards that actually worked at Area 51 were like, "Wow, this is crazy. Let's look in the logs and see if he's there." And it was like the same day of the first report on local television or the next day, they checked all the logs, no Bob Lazar. And then he went as far as to say that he even contacted George Knapp and said, "Here's who I am. I can show you my credentials. I work at Area 51. This person that you just put on television never stepped foot on Area 51." George Knapp didn't want to hear that. He just kept running with the story. And that says a lot about the story. If somebody's a valid witness, he should have included that in his report. Never did.
Yeah, but when you've got these people that are running with the story that is doing extremely well, why break
I
away
know, I've
from
seen it
it?
myself. Yeah. They're like, well, it might be bullshit, but people want to hear about it. So
We
we'll
do
do the
that.
story.
We do that.
Yeah.
I've been guilty of it. I'm sure you've been guilty of it. I'll put my hand up to say I've been guilty of it, but I do like to I like to find out the truth in the end. You
Yeah.
mentioned Men in Black, so you don't think there's any chance that this could have been erased?
It could be. Yeah. I mean, I'm open to all possibilities, but I have to go with the best available evidence. And the best available evidence tells me that Bob Lazar lied about his education. He lied about how big the hangar bay doors were because the spaceship couldn't fit in and out of that as he described. You
Have you
know,
not seen Flight of the Navigator?
yeah, it just shrinks down. Yeah, maybe
All
that's
right,
what
let
happened.
me ask you this then. Then what did he do? Did he just work there as a tech guy, like you said, and he overheard other stories from people and just made it up as he
Well, there
went
is
along?
evidence that he had contracts around Area 51 to deal with the health monitors, not
Ah,
in, but around.
got it.
So he could have picked up a lot of things. Also, apparently, his one time father in law worked at Tonopah Test Range, where the real S4, which is a radar shack, was. I believe that he cobbled together his story from things he had heard from John Lear. And, it's not a coincidence that months or maybe a year or two before Bob Lazar came out with his story, John Lear came out with the predecessor of the story, claiming that they had 9 spacecraft in secret hangars on a subset of Area 51, and they were trying to back engineer them. Then suddenly Bob Lazar meets John Lear, and a short time later, he's confirming John Lear's original story, but adding to it, saying that he saw the spaceships, he went there, he worked on them, and then also none of the science makes any sense. If a real physicist looks at it, like Stanton Friedman, alien addict, or alien scientist,
I'm
or
not a
others,
physicist.
yeah, no, alien scientist has looked at his science and said it's all science fiction gobbledygook. All the evidence taken together, I just don't believe that it's a credible story. And that's another one, though. It's like Bigfoot. I would love to believe this shit is real, but I just can't, based on all the times I've caught Bob Lazar lying.
Bigfoot's real.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
And
That's the best.
Dr. Steven
It's
Squat.
getting old.
Oh God.
Never gets old. Never gets old.
Well, listen, I appreciate you having me, Ollie, but I gotta bounce out of here because I gotta feed my children before my wife gets home and murders me.
No problem, mate. I know that. I've been in that situation.
Yeah, this is a tough time for me.
Yeah, no
The
worries.
time you have your shows, I mean. Ollie's always like, come on in, Steve. You're always welcome. Come to my show. I'm like, I got to feed my kids and hope that they didn't wreck anything while I was doing this.
He probably did.
2 boys, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right there with you. I've got 2 boys. And a wife that beats me. Yeah, you get yourself off.
Oh!
All right, I will talk to you guys later. Nice seeing you and
See
Rich
ya.
as well. Even though when Rich is on the show, that means you're in the shitter. Oh.
Before you go, kiss it. Yeah, that's another great
I'm
thumbnail.
on the shitter.
Oh,
You're
I
in the
love
sewer.
Third Phase of Moon. If nothing else, for entertainment value. Dr. Stephen Greer said, what? He went on a secret mission with a guy from ZZ Top, and that's in their documentary. Oh, shit. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
See you later.
Bye-bye, my friend. Thank you. Rich, where are your thoughts with what he says about Bob Lazar? Because last week when I asked you about Bob, you kind of changed your attitude a little bit towards it, and almost like me and you have spoke offline, when we spoke on other shows, it's been like, I don't think I believe Bob Lazar's story. But after you,
Well, I don't. I mean, I said I'm not really 100% sure because nobody really knows. But, after listening to Steven say what he did just now, I forgot about that stuff. It's like, it doesn't make sense. His story has holes in it, man. Just like the screen here. The hell? I don't understand. Hold on, it's stuck to me. Hold on, I'm sorry. But sorry. I really had this all perfect before the show. I hate this place.
See, this is why I have just a professional background, with no green screen.
Yes, I do have that. I have that as well, as you know, but it's not finished. Yeah, Bob Lazar and the things that Steven are saying, I've heard people try to, rebuttal that as well. And they're like, no, it's not at this, it's not that time. You got it wrong. It's like, unless you do the research yourself, you're going to come up with your own conclusions about Bob Lazar. Deep down, I think Bob Lazar worked, like Steven said, around the area and may have picked up things here and there. But that's right. When John Lear came out with that story, and then about a year later, he's coming out with this grandiose S4 story. It's very strange. I think John Lear
is Bob's father.
But no, I am your father. No, that's not true. No. Poor Bob Lazar. I think there's another documentary in the works with him.
Really? And is Corbell all over that?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but there's rumors going around. And then what he said about Greer and the Cousins brothers should have called and verified those things. What would have happened, I think, because Greer is part of this documentary, he was in it, from beginning to end. And I think he would have seen that and probably would say, nope, you guys, I'm not going to be in the
Yeah,
documentary.
it
if
wouldn't have
that's in
got
there."
approved.
Probably. I'm not sure, but I doubt it would have been, yeah. And
You've
and
you've
that's
got.
what. Go ahead.
No, I was going. What were you going to say? Because
Well, I
I
was
think
going
you're
to
going to
say
say.
that's not the type of documentary the Cousins brothers made right there. It was just one man's story with, you had Schrad in there and Goodall and everybody else. There was a common theme to that story. And the Cousins brothers always leave it up to you to do the extra research, or, they let people have a voice is what they do. And people love that. But a lot of people hate it too. It's like it's split down the middle. It's like, if you're going to put that in there and that's not even true and that's a lie, then you're just assisting this man with a lie. That's bullshit. That shouldn't be in the documentary either. So if that's true and it's a bullshit story, that makes sense to me. I understand why Steven's upset, and I understand why the Cousins brothers made the film the way they did, to get to just hear a man's story without any rebut.
It's almost impossible to be in this field and have guests do documentaries or whatever you do without being accused of something.
I know. Everybody now, right?
You're never going to do it right. Personally, and I'm not saying this because I now get along with the boys, I think they did it right. I don't think they could have done it any other way. I think you're right. If they'd have done something at the end where you'd have gone on and said, "Well, I think this is bullshit because he's said X, Y, Z in the past," that would have never got approved. Stephen would have said, "I don't want any part of that."
Which bothers me in a way, if that's what would have happened. But you're probably right. I would have liked to seen some things rebutted too. But on the other hand, I understand why they made it the way they did. Because it's almost impossible to prove it either way. But according to Stephen Cambion, that is a fake story. That's not provable with ZZ Top Guy. Didn't he say that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was out there. I have to say, at that point of the documentary, I was like, "Okay, Stephen, come on, you're pulling one of those little white lies, aren't you?"
That's
just a little white, just a little white lie, tiny one.
Man, but the CE5 stuff, I don't know.
Doable.
Huh?
I know people I trust that say it works.
I know.
Not necessarily what Stevens told them to do either.
There's other ways to do it, as long as you get into the zone and whatever, to some extent, I want to believe in it. A small portion of me wants to believe so badly because I believe in the law of attraction. I believe thoughts do create things. And not exactly as you want it to be, but shit, bro. I've had some things happen the next day that should have been impossible. Never, ever could have happened, ever. And it happened again. I just did it again. And a few days later, I got what I wanted. And I don't know how, but it works. So I'm going to go for broke. I'm going to really try to see if there's some way I could do something. I'm going to write it down. I'm not going to tell anybody, but I'm going to write it down. I may tell one person. I may tell you.
You could do it live.
And see and give myself a date. But you really shouldn't give yourself a date, but I'd give it a month.
You definitely don't give yourself a date and a location because you're going to get people letting off balloons with lights.
No.
You're going to be like, what? Somebody else will be...
I'm talking like the law of attraction. Like if, I would say, okay, I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna get a brand new car. Let's say I imagine a brand new car, which right now can't happen. It shouldn't be able to happen. Maybe I'll do that. But I could create it to where I may get in an accident and my car gets totaled and I'm in a wheelchair the rest of my life, like Angelique.
Well, I mean, don't do it live, Rich, but it's
We can't do it live.
no, I mean, don't do it while you're driving.
No, no, I'm not. But that's the way the universe works. So if I wanted a new car and the only way I can get it is my insurance paying for it or somebody else's because I got T-boned at the intersection, then that's how the universe is going to make it happen if I can't do it financially. You understand? So it'll come up with a way where it won't cost me anything but my life.
Did you
That-
see? Did you
Yeah.
see? Did you? Going back to what we was talking at the beginning of the show, did you actually see any of the interview last night
With who?
with Angeli? Not Angeli, sorry, with Ryan. I think her name was Sarah. I can't remember.
Oh, you mean on
And
Cambian
Scott.
show?
Yeah.
I was listening to it. I was in the chat room and I was working out, so I was a little distracted for some of it. But yeah, I was there. Yeah. Why?
No. Well, the show's gone now. It's disappeared because I got
I
halfway.
know.
I didn't watch the entire thing. I got about halfway through, and I don't know what happened to make that show disappear. But I think it's going to be interesting. I think a lot of things are going to come up along the way. I don't think it's bad if once they're out, we speak about them.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
it's going to happen. I don't think these people are disappearing. They're going to go on other shows. They're going to speak about it. I find it very interesting that she's sticking to her guns with this, and she's fighting this. You know, I like the title of the thumbnail, Mythology versus Ufology. I think most of it's just myths and legends, but she's sticking to the actual factual information that this is factual. This happened to her. This is not just some sort of illusion.
I know. But I thought she said it may have been an illusion. I thought she said that a couple of times. Am I wrong?
So I don't think it's bad that we speak, because that actually got said on Stephen's show last night. Ryan said, I believe that she, out of 10, what is she? She said she was a 7.
Yeah,
She said
yeah.
she was 7% sure. Out of 10%, she was, out of 100%, she was 70% sure
Yeah.
that it happened. So there's that 30% that this may have not happened. Thank you, Jennifer, for the super chat. I appreciate that. A true experiencer is not in any zone. It's not in any zone first. It just, what's that say?
Happens.
Happens.
A true experiencer.
Bring it on.
That's opinionative right there. A true experiencer doesn't necessarily, like, if you're walking around and you just see a UFO, that's
That's happened to you, Rich.
It has. Driving, it's happened several times, yeah.
It's happened to me.
So I guess I'm an experiencer and I don't really have to get into a zone. Totally true. I get that. What I was saying before is, if you want to do the CE5, that's getting in the zone. So there's a little more to that than just being an experiencer. I was talking about CE5 stuff. Because that's what Greer did this last week, 7 days in a row. With a small group of people getting in a circle, singing Kumbaya and seeing things in the sky.
Now, I'm going to be very careful how I word this, but do you think that some of the people that have experienced aliens, demons, whatever they've experienced, may have actually had something extremely traumatic that's happened in their life, and they've masked that with paranormal?
Yeah, like Kenneth Pass, that guy who wanted to slice me up into little pieces. That guy's been through a traumatic past. He's had a very awful childhood. And his experiences could be mixed in, just to unburden himself with the reality of what really happened to him, just make it aliens. It's easier that way instead of it being humans. But yeah, there are some people who've had things happen to them, and I'm not sure why. it translates to aliens, but it does for some people, and I don't know why. Don't you think that's strange that
Yeah.
a childhood experience, or I don't know why that would be. Yeah. I've had I think we've all have had traumatic things happen in our lives, right? When you were a kid, did you have something traumatic happen in your life?
I died. True
Well, that's
story. I
that's
did die when I was a baby. Completely stopped breathing. They had to get the paramedics. My dad collapsed my lung from resuscitating me. Yeah, I almost had cot death.
what?
Yeah, I can't remember it though.
Yeah, but that's traumatic.
I think I'm
That
still suffering from
Hey
the lack of
man,
oxygen at the time, but that happened.
you're still suffering. That is really weird. And here you are with an alien YouTube channel,
Yeah,
and here I am with one and
with
weird
one,
experience with one channel, two channels. Yeah, if you really want to,
three.
three channels actually.
You got the TikTok going on.
The what?
You've got is that your computer making that?
Yeah, because I have it up on here instead of down there. The fan just turned on for some reason. I've got about 50, 60 tabs open right now.
Yeah,
There we go.
I do think something with some of the people that I've spoken to in the past, and I'm not going to name any names. This I get a feeling that some things, when they're talking about what's gone on, there's definitely truth to the story. I think some people may have masked the situation with aliens or
But why
paranormal.
aliens, though?
I
See, nobody plans this when you're young. And then when you get older, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm remembering it as aliens because I don't want to remember being touched, by Uncle Bobby or whatever. It's really strange that aliens pop up. Why? That really bothers me. It almost makes me think that maybe we're all part of a hybrid, right? Hybrid alien human creation. Think about it. If we were brought here, I watched this documentary last night. It was one of the best ones I've ever seen. It was called Alien Moon. Have you ever seen it?
I don't believe I have, no.
It was great. They were talking about how the moon really isn't what it is. It's hollow. And they went into a lot of pictures that have been doctored, and I'm telling you, some of these things I've never seen before literally looks like there were cities on the moon.
Haven't they done a film about that?
They have, but I've never seen this one. This one, it's about, I don't know how old it is, to be honest with you.
So this is a documentary. I know they've done a recent film. I saw the trailer. I've not watched it. I've seen the trailer.
It's not
for
that
it.
one. Not Moonfall.
Yeah, but is that not a similar situation? The moon's hollow, and
this was based on NASA photos. This was based on reality. Moonfall is based on what if the moon was hollow.
Yeah, science fiction.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked Moonfall because it was just fun, But it makes me wonder, because then they were talking how was the moon brought here if it is hollow, because they said, I think Buzz Aldrin said, or somebody said, the moon rang like a bell. There was a fight. They have there was 28 earthquakes on the moon for 40 years. They had 28 of them, and some of them were like 5.0s, which could move furniture in a home and crack foundations. And they also found out that the moon was super heated. And they actually called the surface like glass, because the surface has embedded heated glass in there, like ridiculous temperatures. Like they think the moon was brought here at near light speeds. This is what they were talking about. Just going through the universe, and rocks are hitting it and all sorts of shit. And that's why it looks the way it does. And then it was for our moon to be where it is. They said the chances are impossible. There are no odds. It shouldn't be there.
remember what I said to you about anything going at a certain speed through the galaxy would hit loads of things on the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, we've talked about that. Yeah.
That is interesting. If I could be wrong with this one, because I'm not really I'm not an, I didn't study much at school.
Hey, me neither.
But would I be right by saying that the ancients always draw the sun on rocks,
Yeah.
but they never draw the moon?
Huh. Yeah, that's
I
interesting.
can't picture like an Egyptian thing or a Mayan thing or whatever with the moon in it, just the sun.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm not sure, but I think the Mayans did because they had the eclipses, which accounted. Well, they did. I guess they saw the moon. They knew it was the moon, but the moon is in the perfect spot. It's 400 times smaller at this distance, so it perfectly blocks out the sun. But the moon is going away from us. What is it, 2 centimeters a year or something like that? So it is moving away from us.
Oh, I thought it was moving towards us.
Nah, it's moving away.
Oh, I can stop panicking now. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit about the tides?
Well, it would be another 50,000 years before.
I'm not bothered then at all. You know, I'm quite selfish like that. So I don't care about the future of the planet.
No, 20 years you'll be dead. Oh yeah, you're only 42, right?
Yeah, but you've probably got that right. Because you like
No.
predicting stuff, don't you? Yeah.
No, I keep.
Now you put it down on the whole night.
No, you'll be 72 when you die. Don't worry.
That's
about
a good age. I'll take that.
You're
I'll take
okay.
72.
It was a heart attack that did you in. At least you were sleeping though.
I nearly had a heart attack, Rich.
Yeah. Huh?
Not very
What?
tactful, are you?
Oh, I cheated. I know.
That was myelinitis. That wasn't a heart attack.
But
Such-
you're
I'm
heading
so-
there.
I'm such a drama queen.
You're
No.
heading there, buddy. You were born dead. You had that heart thing. Your father was beating the hell out of you.
That's definitely worth looking into. And I could see you cog spinning for a show there. But was the moon depicted in
I'm not
ancient?
sure.
I only remember this. Can you think of one with the moon? Just
I
one.
almost do, but really I can't, to be honest. It's always the sun. Yeah. Unless somebody out there knows of one, any pictures of the moon, that I don't know. I don't know, man.
I'm gonna look into it.
But they were talking how, the not the Illuminati, the Anunnaki and all that stuff, they, could have created us. And that's why I got into that, because did they make us not slaves, but just created us because they could and put us on this planet, and maybe they're up there now watching. Apparently there's something on the dark side of the moon that people are saying there's a base over there, and that's why we're doing this Artemis launch to release a satellite on the dark side so we can spy on whatever's happening over there. But I'm not sure. For us not to go back and walk on the moon since 72 is weird. You would think we would keep going there and doing all sorts of experiments, right? I mean,
It makes zero sense.
yeah.
But
40.
what was it the guy from NASA said? And he said, and I've seen it on YouTube. He said they lost the technology.
Yeah.
Do you remember that guy that where we lost the technology that took us back to we can't go back.
We wouldn't even know where to start. How would we go? I mean, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The dumbest.
NASA lost the technology. NASA.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. But nobody can figure it out again. I mean, how stupid does that sound?
We had the files, but
So stupid.
Somebody spilled the coffee on it, and then we tried to dry it out, and then Some silly bastard binned it.
But we do have the technology to take ET home. Don't forget that guy. How stupid are we?
NASA, never a straight answer. I do stand by that. I do stand that. I'm not one of these guys. I don't know why I'm holding up. I'm not one of these guys that thinks that you guys didn't go to the, I'm gonna say we, Earth, and all
Man.
that. All just one team.
That's all.
Not just Americans. It's one. Yeah. I'm not gonna say we didn't go to the moon, but I understand people that get frustrated and say, "Where's the evidence?" Because you never see anything now. There's nothing. There's nothing that they show there's nothing that they show me now that I can say, you know what, that's 100%. Do I believe we went to the moon? Yes, I do. I believe. I'm 98% sure that we went to the moon. There's 2% of me that thinks that I'm God and I've made everything up.
But the fact that we went there 6 times and nothing happened, nothing bad happened at all during those 6 times. I think there was one time, right, they had that problem. Apollo 13, I think it was, or whatever.
Mm.
But other than that, I mean...
When Tom Hanks went, yeah.
Yeah. 6, and with, what's his name from Flashdance? No, Flashdance. Kevin Bacon was in that too. He was Buzz Aldrin, wasn't he? No, he wasn't. He was somebody else. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, man, if we really went to the moon. I think we did, but I think there's a 40% chance we never went. I don't know.
Really?
I don't like what I see when I see the strange footage, but I think what happened is they filmed it as well as going there in case they didn't make it there. So I think some of that footage that was made here at home is mixed in with the actual footage of us going there, just for something cool to look at, maybe that they didn't get on the moon.
Do you think Stanley Kubrick was involved in that footage?
I'm not sure if he was, but he might have been. It would make sense that if he was, and he did put a little Easter eggs in The Shining.
In The Shining, yeah.
So it's very possible.
Even the carpet. The carpet
yes.
is the whole layout. And I believe room 237 at the time, not now, but at the time they believed that was was it something to do with the distance?
Yeah, 237,000 miles from Earth. That's how far the moon is.
And he was a clever guy. Stanley was I mean, it's a shame we haven't got Lee here for that because he loves this shit. But what's his name? The original guy who wrote the Steven Spielberg was pissed off when he went and watched The Shining. He was fuming. He thought Stanley butchered the entire film because it was all about his. It was Stanley's kind of piece. It was his. It was his.
About Stephen King.
It was Stephen King's film. The Shining is Stephen King's short. It is Stephen King's story.
I thought you said Spielberg.
Did I say? I might have done.
I don't know. Maybe I thought you. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you. But so it was his film, his movie. We know that. But you think what now? That he messed it up?
No, Steven Spielberg was pissed off at what Kubrick did.
Oh, okay.
Yes. He was. That is it. Have you seen the documentary Room 237?
I think I did.
You have to watch that.
I think I did.
Room 237. You got to watch it. It's on Amazon. That's it.
I think I did. Brian Kegler with the $5 super chat.
What's that? NASA destroyed. Help me out here, Rich.
Yeah, he destroyed They destroyed all the Moon Saturn V tooling and blueprints in the 70s. Crazy. Must be a reason. We haven't been beyond Leo since. SpaceX next.
Yeah, with Starship. That's what was it going to call it to begin with? SpaceX new. It's Starship now. It was going to be called something completely different.
I don't remember what it was.
But yeah, we spoke about that many times as well. I don't understand why Elon Musk, I believe the year is 2025, is going to send one guy who's bought every single seat on that rocket round to orbit the moon. Why would you let one guy buy every single seat on that rocket?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
It was the Chinese guy, the I think he's an artist or fashion guy, but he's bought every single seat. That
I
doesn't
can't remember.
That really doesn't sit well with me at all.
No, it sounds made up. It sounds like that's a lie. Like that's what they're saying really happened. But they only want one guy to go. Don't you think? I should say that's bullshit. He shouldn't be allowed to do that. It's for the people.
100% shouldn't be allowed. And thank you, Brian, for the super chat. I appreciate it. He's 100% should not let that happen. And I like Elon. I hope he brings social media into a good place. Yeah, but I spoke about it with Lee on his show, which I believe is coming out. This is the thumbnail for it that I designed with a bit of cubic background on there.
Yeah, I see. That.
But it went in all different directions. I was having a bad day. I wasn't very well, so I've blanked myself out by it. Yeah, it doesn't sit well with me at all. It really does. Are you all right, Rich?
I'm doing Lou.
Oh yeah. What is this about? Anyway, let's bring it back into ufology. What is going on here?
Then I won't have a show later.
We can discuss a lot. You can give us a little bit of a nipple.
A nipple turns into a lot of milk.
So this show's going to have a lot of milk.
Well, if I start talking about it now, how are you going to shut me off? I'll be a nipple that keeps on squirting.
Well, I'm hoping that you will just
it's right there.
Do your show right now.
He says we already had disclosure.
When?
He just said it the other day. He says it all the time. We've already had disclosure. So I want to talk about why we haven't. Or have we?
Spoilers alert, I disagree with that. We definitely haven't had disclosure. I'm with you, Rich. You can't get a little bit pregnant. I like that one.
Oh, yeah, you can. And you can't say what is disclosure because everybody knows what disclosure means. That is proving aliens exist and or alien technology has been found. That's full disclosure. No? Is there anything else I should be talking about when I say that?
That is absolutely full of disclosure.
He thinks because the government admitted that there's UFOs, that's disclosure.
Yeah, I mean this is where I get really frustrated with the community. And I always stay on the fence, but there's just me and you here, so I can't really stay on the fence. I get so frustrated with this because all of a sudden everybody trusts the government when in ufology before nobody did, but now it's completely done it's almost done a U-turn, and it's almost like that's what's supposed to happen. We're supposed to trust these guys to bring the disclosure that they want to bring us. What does that look like?
This is brainwashing at its finest. This is the media trying to control what people think. It's their narrative. They want us to think that Lou does. wants us to think that disclosure. Hey, even Greer says it. Greer says it. We've already had disclosure. No, we haven't. I wanted to smack him in his gizzard. If we had disclosure, everybody would be talking about it. Schools would shut down. We'd be having, people would be running to church and running to the store for toilet paper if that was the case.
Why?
Because we're scared. The aliens might want to, we've been brought up to believe there's bad aliens everywhere. And if everybody remembers that little thing that I did on Santa Monica Beach on the pier when we were asking people if they knew what a UAP was, and they said, no, what is it? We said UFOs. Oh, are the aliens coming to attack us? That's what we heard, because Lou talked about the threat. So, disclosure hasn't happened. Not even close. Greer believes it's happened because he thinks they're working with the technology without any proof at all. And that's what Lou is now. Lou is now turning into Greer, if you haven't noticed. Even Lou believes it's possible to have mental conversations with aliens.
I've seen this.
I mean, come on now. What the frig are you doing, dude? He's just sucking up to the most popular thing that people want to believe right now, and that's we can talk to aliens. And he was calling Greer a fraud and that he should be in jail for what he's doing, and now he's talking about the same thing. Fucking hypocrite.
Do you think we'll ever see them two in the same room together?
Yeah, I do.
As friends?
Yeah. Well, as friendlies, I guess. I think they'll be in the same room because I think maybe in the next 5 years there may be some announcement that may come from the Galileo project or something that is going to make everybody go, I can't believe it, there's life, and then they're going to find out it was all an accident. That's my prediction. It'll be retracted. That's what they do.
Oh, right. You think we're going to have like that moment where the world goes silent because they think they're getting UFO disclosure, and then it's a nothing burger? Yeah.
Just like what they did with Roswell, just like they did with off-world vehicles, they retracted that.
The report,
and they're gonna say, hey, the Galileo project, somebody found something, it's been confirmed, and we have a big announcement. And then a month later, they're gonna come back and say nothing really happened, when in fact something may have. It may be aliens for real, but they had no choice but to get it out there to the public because it was a public thing. The Galileo project, it leaked out, and then they're going to retract it because they have to. I don't know.
Do you ever feel like leaving the subject completely?
What? Every day. Every day I want out. But they keep bringing me back in. I want out all the time because we never get proof. Everybody's in this for their own reasons. Nobody's in it for the greater good. And those who say they're in it for the greater good that are in government are lying. It's my opinion. It's what I've seen. And it's very frustrating. Plus, I've been doing this for 18 years. Everything seems to repeat itself. Repackaged, rebranded with different people saying the same thing just a little differently. And it gets old. Brian Kegler with a $5 Starship.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, the guy was Japanese, not Chinese. I apologize for that. But yeah, he's buying all the seats and he's taking multiple types of artists with him. And they're probably all rich. And they draw triangles with little eyes in the middle. Maybe. That's just conspiracy. I think he should be open. There should be somebody going from every country. We should get Boris Johnson going. We should get. I'm not even going to go there.
With the Canadian dude.
Well, Boris Johnson's not Canadian.
No, I said plus the Canadian dude.
The Canadian, yeah. Get all the dickheads all on one ship and maybe just send it a little bit further out. it doesn't come back. They
That's
can
a
do
shame.
they can do the politics on Mars. They could be the future politics, the future politicians.
Wouldn't it be weird if they came back and they were 20 years younger?
Well, that would,
Corey,
yeah, Corey, good. You
that'd
took
be
the
so
words.
amazing.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Mouth. Um,
Mouth.
mouth.
MOUF.
All
Just
right,
like,
mate. Come
huh?
on.
What? What'd I do?
You just doing your Yorkshire thing.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you're
That
not.
that is how I don't even know how certain black people say, truth. They say truth instead of saying truth. I heard a guy say he has a channel and he doesn't say algorithm. He says algorithm. And every time I watch his video, I said, it's not algorithm, it's algorithm. I'm such a dick. But
Well,
hey,
yeah,
man,
the
words are
algorithm.
words. I don't know
The
what an
alg-
algorithm is. Sorry.
The algorithm is terrible. I don't know. I literally do not know what to do with it because it changes every single month. You could do something on your channel and the algorithm just changes.
It's
For me personally, anyway.
Yeah, I think it's individual. It depends how many copyright claims
Yeah.
you get, or I
Three,
think,
three.
huh?
I've had three
Three
over
copyright
not from
claims?
not on the same month. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. But yeah,
No,
I've had either three or four.
well, I'm talking claims, not strikes.
Sorry, yeah, no strikes. I've had three claims. I've had
Okay,
loads. I get them all the time
yeah,
for my
I've
older stuff.
I've had over 300 copyright claims.
Wow.
Yeah, and I removed a lot of those videos because I wanted to clean the channel up. But GUFON's almost back to where it was before we got the strikes.
It's doing
So
well, man.
it's all
It's
right. It's all right.
it's not all right. It's great. It's
No.
what we need.
Yeah, I just need another 20%. We're still 20% off for the live numbers, but there's nothing I can do.
People, head over to GUFON tonight. If you're not already subscribed, go subscribe. And if you just if you just watch these channels, if you're just watching my channel right now and you've not subscribed and you've not hit the thumbs up, do it. It doesn't cost anything, but it really does
It
help.
makes you feel good too.
It makes me want to keep coming back and doing this.
And if you dislike the show, make sure you hit the dislike button twice so you make sure it goes through.
A double dislike always helps.
Always. Yeah.
To let YouTube know that you really dislike it.
Yeah.
So hit it twice. But just don't hit the thumbs up twice because
you don't need to.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
That's just showing off. I find it hard, Rich. I don't know about you. I mean, you do it every day pretty much. I do it once a week, and I work through the day, and I look forward to doing this little show. Pretty much, it's going to be on a Friday now. That's the only way I can kind of do it. But I'm finding this subject so difficult, so frustrating, but yet so exciting at the same time. But sometimes I don't know if it's the YouTube aspect of it, and I don't know how you feel about this, but it can be. I hear this all the time, and people think, how can a YouTuber be depressed? But this is your job now. You're a YouTuber. That is what you solely do for a living. You do YouTube, and I can see how that can become depressing. If you get my drift by that, with what people say about you as a person, people judge you. Also having to come up with new content every single day. I have to do it once a week, and I just wing it. I don't know how you manage it.
Neither do I.
But you're enjoying it.
You know what I like? I like that that there is. You're right, and that you asked me if I am tired of it and if I want to leave it altogether, and I say it every day. I do, really, I do. I wish there was, like, there is. I mean, I can do something else, but then what's going to happen is if I have another channel, now those two are going to be like, well, he's saying this over here, and now he's saying this over here. They're going to start putting things together, and that is going to be very confusing to people. And I'll tell you, if I was to come up with another channel, I would discuss, it would be something, it would be like Bring Man Back. You know, it's like a man show. Sorry, ladies, but it has nothing to do with anything. The ladies are always welcome, but men have been brought down to be more like women, if you haven't noticed, you know, feminized. And I want to bring a show in that shows that there are still men in this world that like opening doors for women and going to the drag race and rock and roll and partying and all that stuff, man. We still want to be men in this country, in this world. And talk about politics, talk about sports, talk about cars, you know, things that guys like to do, and talk about even relationships, man. You know, I think now I've had enough that I could give really good advice on, you know, stuff like that. But other than that, if I was to do both of these, it just, people would take this personality and put it with this one. And they'd be, well, on your other show, you said this, and it's going to be something like that. And I don't want to deal with that. I want to focus on one thing and do it well.
I'll touch on that, though, what you said about men being men, because I think this is missing on when I look sometimes in social media, and that's men being disrespectful to women, because I was brought up like, you know, I always have respect. You know, I have respect for the ladies. So if I ever take a train, and I haven't taken a train in a while, but the last time I took a train, this lady came, and she was a little bit older than me. She wasn't elderly, but she was stood up with her bags, and I just got up and said, "Do you want to sit here?" But no, but I had to walk up to her because there was loads of young lads just all sat around, and they wouldn't offer a seat. And I'm just old fashioned, or you know, I'm probably just a dickhead for doing that because this day and age doesn't accept that. But I just think that is something that you do because I was brought up to be a gentleman. You know,
chivalry is not
you do
dead.
that.
Yeah.
You do that. You know,
a comedian said chivalry is dead and woman killed it. Oh, Dave Chappelle said that, I think. Yeah, it's true, because I've seen videos where a guy holds a door for a woman, and she's like, "I don't need you to hold a door for me." Sorry. You know, it's like just being nice.
Well, she sounds like a bit of a dickhead, to be honest with you, because you know, that's just something. It's just a nice thing to do. I would hold a door for a man.
Right. I was just going to say that.
I would hold the door for anybody. If I was going through a door, I'd hold the door for the person coming through.
I hate it, and I say something every single time somebody lets a door close on me, and I'll say, "Hey, thanks for holding the door. I appreciate it." And they turn around and they just keep on walking. You know, they don't say, "Oh, I'm sorry." And sometimes I'll be like, "What? No, sorry. No, I didn't see ya." People are just aloof to being kind, to doing the right thing, especially when nobody's looking. I always say that.
I think everybody should be a little bit kinder.
I get in trouble for being too truthful.
I know you do. But
not here, but I'm talking about in real life.
Okay, I can imagine.
It sucks.
You gotta be yourself, though, mate. You gotta be yourself. But Rich, we've been going for an hour and a half. There's only two of us now. Normally, if there's a few of us going, I keep the show going for a lot longer.
So in other words, you don't have any other material you want to talk about. Is that what
No.
we're at? Is that what we're doing? We're ending? Because you don't have material enough for 2 hours.
No, we're not ending just yet.
Oh,
But
I apologize.
but we can do no. But what I do want to get on to is that what's going on right now in the field with Rich. What are you getting up to? What do you have planned, and what's coming up? Is there anything that you can give us a little bit of a sneak peek into?
Nope.
But is there something going up?
Yeah.
Interviews.
Well, I mean, what do you want me to do? Show you the sunset I shot last night with my drone? I mean, I'm making stuff. I have a couple of videos coming out this week, one for patrons and one for the GUFON members. So that should be an interesting... one of them has to do with me trying to debunk something. And it was a video
cool.
that came out. It just, what?
Something?
Yeah, something. You'll see. It's a light in the sky. You want to see the light in the sky I'm trying to debunk? Do you want me to show you? Do you want to see what I try to debunk? Is that what you're asking me?
That's what I'm asking you.
Let me pull it up. I only have the video of what it is. People who watch my show know what it is, but let me pull it up so you could see it. It's going to be this one, and I'll share it with you. What?
Jennifer, thank you so much. It makes Jennifer feel so special and feminine when a man opens the door for her. At my age, I would kill for a wolf.
A dog whistle?
A wolf whistle. Oh,
What?
You can get arrested for that in the UK.
For
If you wolf whistle at a lady, it's
What? So
classed-
I never heard of that term.
like
Oh, no shit.
yeah, that's classed as.
Oh, that's really nice of guys doing that, man.
I love it when guys wolf whistle at me.
Oh, I know. Me too. Wait, what? You son of a beep.
I'll be honest with you. If a lady wolf whistled at me, I'd be
I would
like,
love it.
I'd get a little bit of a giggle on.
I would love
I'd
that.
go home and tell my wife I got whistled at today.
I would love to be whistled at. It's never happened. Go ahead. I got the video up for you.
Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. And I'll open a door for you anyway, any day, my love. There we go.
This is the video. So there's this dot, and I think
Who
what
sent
I'm-
you that? Where's is? Oh, this
it's
is
from the Hidden Underbelly 2.0. He was here today.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah, he's great.
He's
And-
from. Is he from London?
He's from where you live.
I think he's from London.
I think so. But this object, I think, is a drone with a light on it. And the reason you can't see the actual object and just the light, watch this, because you see it's near sunset. The sun has just gone down.
So here's what I know about this footage.
Right.
This was
And this thing disappears and then it'll reappear just a little ways over. So I think what's going on, they turn off the light on the drone, and because it's a little bit out of focus, you can't see the drone. And then they move it over here very, not a far distance, but they turn the light off, move it to the left, and then turn the light back on, and it looks like it disappeared and reappeared. So it's slightly out of focus, sunset. It's a perfect thing. And I don't want to say whether I duplicated it or not, but let me just tell you, it's an interesting
yeah.
debunk I did. Yeah.
But I will say this about Hidden Underbelly: it's a great channel. You'll
It
have
really
to
is.
send me the link to this as well, so I can put this into the description so people can go ahead over and check him out.
Yeah.
I think he's in the chat, people. So go over to his channel.
Here, I put it in our private section for you, so you have it.
Oh, beautiful! Thank you.
But that's so. The reason I wanted to try to debunk that, it's because I haven't done a debunk in a very, very long time, and I thought it would be an interesting thing to show people that, hey, this is what you have to do. It's not easy, and it's not. It was very hard for me to to do what I did. You won't think it was, but it was. You need 2 people to do it. It sucks. So you'll see my little experiment. I don't like my results, but you might. Not
It's
you.
it's interesting footage that though, you know, because it's not CGI and it's 100% real. But and if there was no such thing as drones, I would be like,
I wouldn't know what the hell that was. That's what changes everything. The drone has changed the game. And I think we're losing the battle. Hey,
well, there you go. That blows my mind. Skinny Bob says Bob Lazar at S4. So cheer up.
Skinny Bob says oh, wow.
He's seen Bob Lazar.
Okay.
And I know I know that Bobblehead is actually the real Skinny Bob. I know that, Rich.
And that's £5?
5 squiddles. I appreciate that, my friend.
No, but is it a quid?
£5.
But is it also a quid?
What do you mean by that? No, it's 5 quid.
That's £5.
5 quid.
So why do you say so £5 is like $5, right?
Or 5 quid.
Right. So
sorry, we call pounds 5 quid. Quids.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know it's a quid. I was just making sure if I was using it correctly.
Well, I have to do that.
It's very confusing.
With everything you guys say and spellings, because you know when I'm typing on Google or anything like that, when I type in an email, even at work, I end up typing our own typewriters correctors to the American spelling now.
Oh, wow. Good.
No, it's not good.
Bad.
I'm dyslexic for a start, so it's just confusing as hell. Thank you, Skinny Bob. I appreciate that.
It does take one good video, though, right? One video can change this entire field. I saw somebody saying that. Dorothy did. About alien critter. All it takes is one good video.
It can do. And Cindy, thank you so much for supporting the show. And if you're not already subscribed to GUFON, is Cindy subscribed to you, Rich? Cindy?
I don't know Cindy.
Go subscribe to Rich, because he's got his show tonight as well. And we appreciate you here. Thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah, it's in a couple of hours, but it'll be a good show tonight, that's for sure.
How long are you running for tonight?
An hour and 30, 2 hours. It depends how I feel. Could be an hour.
That's perfect for my drive tomorrow.
How long's your drive?
It's about that on back and forth.
You probably do what everybody else does. Skip the first 15 minutes because of the intros and the hellos and all that.
No. Sometimes I get to work and I'm still waiting for you to start, Rich.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they super chat, and
I know.
I cannot not say anything.
No, you can't not.
But you know what I've been doing? If there's a lot of super chats, I extend the show a little longer.
Yeah.
To make up for that time. So I really want an hour and 30-minute show, but if it's 2 hours, that's because, there were super chats. But that's how we survive. That's why we go every day, because people want the information. They like it every day, something different. We're not repeating the same stuff over and over. Although I will talk about Lou maybe every day for a week, but it's not like the whole show. And people go, you talk about Lou again. I'm like, he's in the news again. What do you want me to not do? This is what I do. It's an everyday thing. I'm trying to be like those shows. I don't know if I'll ever get co-hosts or anything like that. I thought about it, but
I don't think you need them.
I would look. If I had somebody permanently there.
But then you have to share the super chats, and you make your living. This is your job. You can't afford to pay a co-host.
I didn't think about that, but that is another that I would have to pay them. Hey, look, maybe in a year or two,
Yeah. Maybe I'll be co-host. You could employ me.
That would be phenomenal if I could afford to. But I I want the show. The reason I like subscribers, because you get more views when you have more subscribers, and then I could do more things if I was able to travel more. Like, because I want to go to the Utah Symposium in May. I want to go there, and I think I may just go, even if I don't go with on behalf of Third Phase of Moon. I think I'm gonna go. I want to be there, in the thick of it, videotaping, talking to Andy, recording all these people. It would be great content for a couple of days. And I could also see how things are going, behind the scenes a little bit, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it would be fun. I could interview all sorts of people in there, all the people in ufology and stuff that'll be there. It'd be a good time. I tell you, I'd like to go to Spain and be with, what's his name? Mellon. Christopher Mellon's going to be speaking in Spain at a UFO conference. Why? Huh?
Don't you think that Lou would have warned his best mate away from
I would
you?
never tell them I'm going. I wouldn't announce it. I would just be there, especially for that. To go to Spain would be at least $3,000 for a couple of days. $2,000 minimum. $2,000.
Do you think the Melon would know who you were?
Yeah, absolutely he does. 100%.
What do you think the Melon thinks of you?
Hates me. I guarantee he doesn't like me. Not a lot of these people like me.
I don't think they like a lot of people.
No, I really think they don't get me. They don't get me. Just because it all started when I said, I told Lou, get the fuck out of ufology. Get the fuck out of my ufology. That's when it all started. That's when it got Lou's attention. Even though I was, sending him tweets and stuff and attaching his name to it and Corbell and all those people. I think he knew about me, but this was kind of like, whoa, wait a second. He's telling me to get the fuck out. And I really mean it. I don't like these guys in ufology. I think they're ruining everything. Everything Lou touches in ufology turns to shit. You want an example or 4? ATIP shut down. TTSA shut down. Arts Parts were bullshit. The AOI MSG office turned out to be shit. And among other things. So
The Adam Project? What
I
happened
don't
there? Nothing. Nothing happened.
Now he's in with the Galileo Project. And Lou is being paid. This is just my opinion. I think this is just me saying it. And it's not, I don't know if it's based on truth, but I think Mellon is paying this guy. I think Christopher Mellon pays him, with his own funds, because he's super rich.
Yeah.
He's got FU money, family money, so it goes deep with the Mellons. And I think he's paying him because he took Lou under his wing, basically, and getting Lou all this access.
So do you think that Chris brought Lou into TTSA?
Well, I think he had a huge part in it. Yeah.
Because it's funny that
he was in it.
Yeah. Am I
course.
right by saying this, that Chris and Lou left at pretty much exactly the same time?
No, they did. At the same day, same time. Yeah.
Same day, same time, same hour.
Yeah.
Same
much.
phone call to Tom.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
Tom. Believe it. I almost feel sorry for Tom.
I do too. Yeah, I really do. And I don't like him at all as far as being in the field. But as far as on a human level, I feel bad what happened to him.
Do you
but
think
he's
his
a
heart's
victim. Yeah.
Do you think his heart's in the right place when it comes to this?
Yeah. I think Tom DeLonge's heart is in the right place, but he's a child. He reminds me of a dumber David Wilcock. He'll believe it and say it because he didn't do the research. He didn't look into it. He just believes it. You know what I mean? If you just like when he was on Joe Rogan and he showed the TR3B disappearing. It's like,
do you have that perception of him because of the Joe Rogan interview?
No. I have that perception of him from many different things over the years. Just
That you
watching
don't
him.
judge. You don't judge him on the back of Blink-182.
A little bit.
Why?
Because I don't. I just watching him and Blink 182. I just saw stupid. Just I don't know. Just like I don't like dick jokes, and fart jokes. I think those are cheap. I think he's cheap. I don't think he's a good performer. Let's just say that. But that's my opinion. I just think he's a bad actor who got lucky with the band that made, I guess, good music. I hate it. But other than that, I see a child in a man's body, and he hasn't grown up. And that's that. And I don't even think he's rock and roll, dude. I think he's pop and roll. And that's it. He's no rock and roll, dude. AC/DC's rock and roll. All right? You know
So
what I mean?
you're judging the man because you don't like his music as well.
That's not it at all. I'm just
A little-
saying that
a
because
little
I'm in a
bit.
mood. I'm just saying it to throw it on top of, add insult to injury.
You just want to stab him where it hurts.
I'm punching down is what I'm doing.
It's very strange that. Have you seen his guitar?
I don't remember it. I hate him.
So his guitar has I think it's masonry
Oh, I may have seen it then.
symbols
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, okay.
I find that very interesting.
Hey, you know what? I could paint it on the walls and that would be just as interesting. Wow,
know what?
Rich has got Masonic symbols behind him. Have you seen that? Yeah, I heard his dad is a Masonic guy, isn't he? Last name starts with a G. What?
Do you ever think with the Lou situation that you could be wrong though? Like that you could be making a total ass out of yourself.
Well, actually, I did a show in Monday morning.
I think I saw the title of that,
And,
I watched about an hour of it on the way.
That's
to
all. It
work.
was a short show anyway. But yeah, I thought about that. I'm like, if I'm wrong about Lou, I wouldn't be shocked. But then I
But
talked
you didn't
myself.
specify any reasons why you could be wrong.
Yeah, I did.
Why could you be wrong? I don't think you did.
Because no, I did. Of course I did. When I could be wrong because he did get that office. Well, he had. I don't know if he had anything really to do with it, but getting that office and signed off on, and they got that permanent office apparently.
Okay.
He did bring the 3 videos to light, which brought the conversation. And what if I'm wrong about the gimbal? The Go Fast. I mean, I could be wrong. We all could be wrong. But I have to go with my gut, and I have to go with the way the guy acts. And with Lou, it is a collective thing. And from the beginning, I hit it right off. I think I was right on the money. And we saw Lou come to life when he couldn't answer those questions, was confronted with Greer wanting to debate him. We saw the real Lou leak out. And then he talked about having all these sock accounts and doing counterintelligence type of work in the field to create conversations that were both for him, against him, for this, against that. So he was playing all of us. And I said that the whole freaking time. And, but I could be wrong. I don't know how, but everything I say that I'm right about, just reverse it. And then you got why I could be wrong.
No, do you know? I don't normally say this because I usually stay out of it, but I pretty much, seeing as it's just me and you, and we're 2 hours in, I think you could be right.
About
Lou.
being bad for ufology?
I don't know
Bad
about,
for ufology?
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I just said
I'm
I
saying
think I think you could be right about the guy. I think there's something there that there's something that doesn't sit right with me.
You have to think,
I mean, it's the whole. I mean, I understand that he uses that as an excuse for everything. His whole NDA.
but we saw him when he was on Spaced Out Radio, and the question was brought up about the debate, and then he said, I don't negotiate with terrorists, meaning Greer. And then he said in another part, in another interview, that let's just do this the old-fashioned way, and I'll take you out behind the bar and teach you what the truth is, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. He's a very angry guy. So
are you.
No, I'm not.
Sometimes.
I'm passionate.
I'm shitting with you.
I'm an Italian. I'm a hot-blooded Italian that I'm not as hot-blooded as I used to be because, you get older and shit. And, I pick my battles a little more efficiently nowadays, but...
Well, people pick the battle with you, and you're always fighting one of them.
No.
You make friends. Since I've known you, Rich, you make friends very easily. People are drawn towards you. But as soon as you say something that person doesn't like, and we've used this example quite. I can remember in the beginning when you used to say to me, "I'm sorry if that's offended you," and I say, "Shut up, Rich."
Yeah.
Why would you
True.
wait? Because you're used to that. Of somebody giving you, what do you think of this, Rich? Well, I think it's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And you're used to somebody going, well, fuck you, Rich. Because because this is what generally happens with you. I've seen this. You have a different opinion to somebody else. Quite often, you have a different opinion to me. You used to apologize all the time when I say, well, I don't agree with you. You say, well, I'm sorry. And I'm like, why are you apologizing? I don't understand why you're apologizing. I do now, because every fucker falls out with you when it doesn't go their way.
Yeah.
They do. And a lot of people have fallen out over your opinion on Lou. I can remember you spoke very fondly of Thomas Fessler when he was on your show. You said to me, he's a great guy. I've got an interview coming up with watch
Sure.
this, Ollie. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I watched it, and you guys got on like a house on fire.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, that went pear-shaped.
Yeah, because he played me. Yeah. See, and that's what keeps happening. People want to get
I don't think he played you.
Do you know something I don't know then? Because all I know is this. Let me tell you when it happened. When Wreakin' Havoc 215, when he was on your show, John.
Yep.
Remember that night when I was leaving your show and he goes, so what, Rich? Do you think that my footage is not good enough? And I said, nope, your footage isn't good enough to be proof that you're capturing something. And then he got mad at me. And that started that fight because I was truthful. The next day, Thomas Fessler was friends with John. John went over there, and then they concocted this way to get back at me, from what I heard.
Oh.
And that's how it started. He played me, or maybe he was friendly, I don't know. But I felt like I was played to get him to his 1,000 subscribers.
But did the battle start when Lou went on the show?
No, it started before that.
Okay. Well, that's kind of good in a way. At least he didn't drop you for Lou.
Let me tell you, I can't honestly answer that question because all of this was happening simultaneously. He could have, but I think it started with John, and then they didn't like what I said about Lou the next night or something. It all happened that quick. And then the next thing I know, they were talking shit, calling me a pedophile, racist Nazi.
I don't know where people get these things from. They just pull names out of their ass.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't know what they're doing.
And they've not even seen your Swatch sticker tattoo.
No. Nobody will ever see that.
No one's seen your American History X.
No. It's right here on the backside. No. And I wear the hat for a reason.
That hat?
Well, I wear hats now for a reason. Because
Oh, yeah. Because of the shaved head.
Well, it's the tattoo underneath the hair.
Yeah, but that's on the back of the head, Rich. No one's going to see that.
Yeah, well, you never know. I may turn around one time and accidentally somebody will see the dagger going through the center of it. Yeah, well, Brian Kegler with $20. Have a beer or two. Great show, you guys. You two are a great combination for a show. Oh, I threw that in there.
Thank you so much, my friend. And Rich helps me out here because I'm dyslexic and I'll probably read that backwards.
I'm dyslexic too.
No, you're not. Not
Oh,
like that.
1,000,000%. I had to train myself to read.
Well, can you train me?
No, that's all on you. What do you want me to tell you? Read it backwards. And then if you keep reading everything backwards, you'll accidentally start reading things forward, and then you'll be a good reader. That's how you do
all
it.
my life, Rich.
You didn't try that, did you?
I will say this because we have been going 2 hours now, Rich, and you've got to show. I know I didn't try it, Rich. I didn't try it. I will never try it because I cannot read to save my life. I can read words, but they just come out strange. But I will say to the people in the chat, I do apologize. Sometimes I do miss what you're talking about in the chat because usually I can't concentrate on the Giordano and concentrate on the chat at the same time. It's hard. But I love you. You're all supporting the channel with the thumbs up, the likes, everything. Thumbs up and likes, the same thing. You've got a show coming up in 1 hour.
2 hours.
2 hours. That was 4, Rich. I said I'm dyslexic. I didn't say I couldn't count.
I did it for you frontwards and backwards just in case.
Okay, yeah.
2 hours.
In 2 hours from now. And it's going to rock.
Yeah, I'll have a whole different outfit on you.
And you're going to piss off a lot of people in the field, as usual.
I'm not going to make anybody angry.
It looks like someone is like, said something that's really amused him. I've never seen him look that happy.
That's because I paused it on a video and I just took a screenshot of it. I wanted something like, different.
Most of the thumbnails looks like he's, having a poo.
Yeah.
You see, he has
like
that
one. I love that. I don't know why that makes me laugh, but it's perfect. He's looking right at him. Ugh, look at me. I look like I'm dead. Get that out of there, please.
You've got so much color on you now.
I know. I was dead last year whenever that picture was taken.
So I just want to take this time to thank everybody in the chat. Everybody that's spreading the word of Alien Addict. I run a show on a Friday pretty much. Sometimes it will go to a different day, but I'm going to try and keep it to a regular Friday. And if you get 2 shows in the week, it means that I like that, Rich. It's like you're a UFO fake news. Beautiful. Yeah, you need that. That's what you need. That's your background.
Yeah.
And leave the little bit of the flap of
the flap here.
I like that. I love the flap.
It's my escape hatch.
You need to have your little alien just there. So when it flaps up, you get the alien grey. Your little green one?
Yeah, it's...
Oh, no, because he's green.
Huh?
He's green.
Yeah, this one here, remember? Like, I would have to do something like this, you mean? Here, hold on. This one? The green alien?
No, your big alien.
Oh, the one back there. Yeah. So I should put him there. It's so cool, isn't it? It's so weird how that happens.
I need a green screen. First time I get a green screen, I'm going to paint myself green.
Do you see this? This is green screen tape. This is tape right here. It's green. Same as the color as the screen.
It's like magic.
Isn't that wild?
It's like I'm witnessing real magic right now.
Yeah. Like, here, I'll pull a piece off.
Oh, my God. This is going to be insane.
Yeah, watch
Please,
this.
Rich, tape
What?
yourself up. Tape. Let's get
Oh,
it all
right.
right.
Hold
Like
on, I am.
like the
Hold on, I will.
invisible man.
I have
What
an
a great
idea.
it.
Well, I have a small. I could wrap my head in
You have
a
a small
towel,
what?
a penis. But you know, it's not the size of the ocean; it's the power of the motion. Isn't that what they say? All right.
Don't leave yet, people.
Don't leave
Rich,
yet.
Rich is.
Hold
Oh
on.
my god.
All right. Let's try this. Can you see me? My eyes? What
Can we
happened?
get just a little bit more?
So weird, isn't it?
It's really
There
quite
we go.
amazing. Oh, I like that. I do
That's
like
kinda
that.
cool.
Put it over
Yeah.
the rim. Rim it.
Huh?
Rim it.
Like
Put it over
right
the
here?
rim. Yeah, over the
I am.
whatever the peak.
I'm trying.
You know what you want to do? You
Huh?
want to you want to get like green stuff all around your arms when you do your show. Tape,
Why?
and so you've just got two hands that float around.
Here, let's try that.
We're experimenting, people.
Try the hand here. I didn't rip off enough.
No. Well, yeah.
I
but
know what you mean, but if I
just two hands.
yeah.
Just so.
Oh, like just have my hands showing?
Yeah. So.
Oh, and wrap up like my wrists? Like
Well,
my
what-
arms and
what-
just have hands.
No, what I would do.
Oh, that's
That's great. So what I would do, if I had the green screen and I had that tape, you've got it 2 hours before a show. You could wrap that around your entire body and just have your hands and your head.
That'd be wild. So cool. I love it. We're almost there, guys. I'm almost dead. Pretty soon I'll just be a digital image of myself.
Yeah, don't wrap yourself up completely up because I believe your skin can suffocate if it doesn't get the
I'm
the
not worried
moisture.
about that. I'm not scared of death. Come get me. Thank you. I'll be live in an hour and 41 minutes. if
An
you
hour
guys
and
wanna-
41 minutes, people. Go
51
over.
minutes. Hour and 51. Sorry.
Go over to GUFON. And I'm not saying radio because it's not called GUFON Radio anymore. It's in the description below, people. Like, share, and subscribe. And most of all, share our shit out on social media because that is what grows us, like the monsters,
Yep.
ufology that we are.
Thanks for
And,
having me on.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. Anytime. If you want to support the show, people, check out the Patreon. It is in the description below. Feel free to send me a picture of the t-shirt that you buy in the next 5 minutes. There's some great designs. You can also have a beverage.
Well,
There's
I want
also
that coffee mug. I keep forgetting to get a coffee mug of yours.
Which one do you like, Rich?
Where are they? That's your coffee mugs? I
Oh
thought
my
you had
God.
like a...
I've got those. Yeah, that's for the Patreons.
Oh,
But
okay.
I will send you one. Because
Well,
you being here is Patreon enough to me.
Oh,
You support the show.
I do.
Without you, there probably is no show.
You've been around before. Well, not before me, but you had a YouTube channel before I did.
Not live.
Huh? You
Not
weren't
live.
live ever?
No, never.
I guess you're right. There is no Alien Addict without GUFON. Amazing.
There isn't.
Bullshit.
He's gonna hold that against me.
No,
Anyway,
I will not. Yes, I will.
good night, God bless people. Mind the bugs don't bite. I'm Alien Addict. This is GUFON, Rich Giordano. Go check him out. Good night, God bless. Bye bye.